Hey guys, it's Jamie, and in this video, we are talking all about how to track and follow up on unscheduled treatment plans. So, I want to walk through how to pull in Dentrix the unscheduled treatment plan report, and then I'm also going to show you what I think is the most efficient way to track everything, follow up, and keep everything super organized so that you make sure that you're getting your patients back in for the treatment that they need. So, let's get into it. So, the report that I'm talking about is called the Unscheduled Treatment Plan Report. So to access this report, you want to go into the Dentrix Office Manager, and up on this top toolbar, go to Reports, Lists, and then Unscheduled Treatment Plans. This will pull up this dialog box where you can select what you are looking for. So you can filter, only patients by providers, either provider one in their family file or their treatment plan provider. You can also select providers here. You can change the date range. So say we want to do this from July 1st through the end of the month. You can change that here. You can select certain treatment plan amounts, whether you want a detailed report or a condensed report. On the detailed report, it will show you all of the procedures that are attached to that treatment plan. The condensed report will just show you the patients. You can choose to include or exclude referred out procedures and also exclude continuing care procedures. Up here, you can also select certain patients, but in this example, we want to pull a report that will show us all of the treatment plans that were presented to patients in July from all of our providers at any dollar amount. That's what this is going to pull. So when I click OK, it adds this into your Office Manager batch processor. From here, you can either print it or double click on it to view it. And here you can see it pulled up the unscheduled treatment plan report. So I have all the patient names hidden, but they will be under this first column. And then you can see it shows all of the procedures that have been recommended, the date in which it was treatment planned, and the total dollar amount. So you can go through this entire report to follow up with these patients. So these are patients that have not been scheduled for their treatment. One thing to note is if the patient made an appointment and then that appointment was canceled, broken, or you selected the wait will call, any of those options puts the patient on the unscheduled list. Any patients that have an appointment that is on the unscheduled list will not show on this report. So this report is really great for people who have not entered the scheduling process at all. So we presented the treatment plan. They have not scheduled. These are the people that you want to be following up with. These are the people that we want to make sure that we get scheduled back so that they're getting the treatment that they need. So you can print this report. You can simply go through this report, by viewing it here and go search for the patient. So you can either pull up their family file, pull up their chart, and start making calls to follow up with them. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about, because I think this is the most efficient way to do something like this, is using Weave. Weave is one of my absolute favorite tools for staying efficient, especially when it comes to following up with patients on treatment. So if you have Weave already, this is going to be a great tutorial to show you how to use this. If you don't have Weave, this is going to be a great demo for why this might be useful in your practice. So still watch, even if you're not currently using Weave. I seriously think it's something that you should consider, and this is why. On this side panel here, if you go down to this analytics section and then go up to practice, it's going to pull up an overview of your patient. So you can go through all of the analytics of your practice here, and it tells you hygiene follow-up, hygiene treatment plans, restorative treatment plans, and it gives you so much information. And we can get into all of the analytics in another video if that's something that you guys are interested in. But what I really want to dive into is this opportunity list. So if you go here, you can see you have different options: hygiene treatment, restorative treatment, hygiene follow-up, new patients, and canceled patients. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to select restorative treatment. Now you can also change the date range. So last month is the default. You could do the last 7 days, last 30 days, last week, etc. You can also change, just put in a start and end date. So we'll pull the same thing that we did in Dentrix for the last month, which was July. So this is going to pull up every treatment plan that was created in the month of July and all of the patients that have not scheduled. So you can run through and look at this list, sort through it. So this first column is your patients, and the second column is their phone numbers. These are hidden for HIPAA reasons. But then you can see as it goes through here, all of the procedure codes. You can click on these and it will show the dollar amounts. If they do have an upcoming appointment for part of their treatment, it can show on here, but it would show the unscheduled part as well. The classification, this is restorative treatment plan. And then the best part of all is you can simply follow up right here with your patient. So if you click the call button, it will call them. If you click the message button, it will pull up so that you can send them a text message. This is an amazing way to really be efficient with your follow-ups on treatment plans. Like you can see just in this month in my practice, we have a 1 doctor practice, pretty small. We have 34 unscheduled treatments. So this is going to add up month over month if we're not following up on these. And so you want to do this in the most efficient way possible so you can capture all 34 of these patients ideally and get them on the schedule. The other thing I really love is being able to track what you did. So if you followed up with them, if you called, left a message, whatever the case is, you can click on the patient's name here and it will pull up this patient's information on this side panel. And from here, it has all of their contact information right here, which I have blocked out. But you can go over here to notes and you can add notes in. So click this add note button. So I can just add a little note here that says, I spoke with the patient, she's planning to do her treatment, and I'm going to follow up again in a few weeks. And just save this note. So now you can see any notes that were created about this patient. Now, another really amazing thing is tasks. So you have your note in here, but you also want to do that follow-up again in 3 weeks. So you can add tasks right in here. So if you click this create task button, and you can just fill all of this information in. So we'll just call it follow-up on treatment, and you select a date. So we'll go 3 weeks out, a time, you can assign it to somebody, and this will add it to your to-do list, and you can create priorities as well. Once you have everything entered, you'll just go to the bottom and click create task. And this way, Weave will remind you on September 3rd that you need to follow up on this patient's treatment. You can already see using Weave to do this is going to be so much more efficient than pulling up that list in Dentrix. Let's go back to that list. And just having this list either printed or having to pull this up every time you want to work on it. You don't have access to calling them right away. You still have to go into their family file to get their phone number, to get more information. And this Dentrix report does not update automatically. So you have to pull a new report every day or every few days to run this report and keep it accurate. Now we ran it for July, so that's great. But on Weave, it's automatically updating this every time you add a new treatment plan in. So when you go into that opportunity list, it has everything up to date for you. So this is going to just be a game changer on your follow-up ability, your ability to stay organized, know who you've talked to, when you talked to them last. It's another thing in those notes that you put a note in, you can see like, oh, I just talked to them last week. I'm going to wait another week or two before I call them again. Super useful for that, where in Dentrix, there are places that you can add notes. In my opinion, it's just not as clean and organized as it is on Weave. So I'm a huge, huge fan of Weave, and we can get into more details on Weave in upcoming videos if that's something that you guys are interested in. But when it comes to follow-up and when it comes to getting unscheduled treatment plans on the schedule, it's a game changer. Okay, so that is how you are going to track and be able to follow up with your patients on any unscheduled treatment. I'm a very big fan of Weave. It really helps keep me very efficient and organized in my workflow and being able to do all of this. But I'm also a very big believer in really understanding how your practice management software works. And so it's really useful to know how to pull these reports in Dentrix and know how to read them and follow up with your patients from there. Weave just really takes that a step further and streamlines the process and just makes it so much easier. So if you're not currently using Weave and you want to check out a demo for your office, I'll leave a link in the description where you can access that. And I'm also going to be putting out some more Dentrix reports videos in the upcoming weeks. So if that's something that you're into, then subscribe to this channel and I will see you in the next one.